श्री दुर्गा सप्तश्लोकी। ओम अस्य श्री दुर्गा सप्तश्लोकी स्तोत्र महामन्त्रस्य
ओम अस्य श्री दुर्गा सप्तश्लोकी स्तोत्र महामन्त्रस्य
नारायण ऋषिः
नारायण ऋषिः
अनुष्टुपादीनि
छन्दांसि
श्री महाकाली महालक्ष्मी महासरस्वत्यो देवताः
श्री महाकाली महालक्ष्मी महासरस्वत्यो देवताः
श्री जगदम्बा प्रीत्यर्थ पाठे विनियोगः
श्री जगदम्बा प्रीत्यर्थ पाठे विनियोगः.
So this is how it starts. There's a description of what is to follow, and this Saptashloki, the author is a rishi called Narayana, and it is chanted in Anushtup Adi meters, Anushtup Adini Chandamsi. So we will recognize the two familiar meters from the Gita. Yeah, Anushtup and Trishtup are there here. And it's dedicated, or who are the devatas invoked? Mahakali, Mahalakshmi, Mahasaraswati. Yeah, and that is this, just the initial portion. Now we come to the actual shlokas. Jnani namapi chetamsi devi bhagavati hisa.
ज्ञानी नामपि चेतांसि देवी भगवती हि सा
बलादाकृष्य मोहाय महामाया प्रयच्छति.
बलादागृह्य मोहाय महामाया प्रयच्छति.
ज्ञानिनामपि चेतांसि देवी भगवती हि सा बलादाकृष्य मोहाय महामाया प्रयच्छति.
ज्ञानिनामपि चेतांसि देवी भगवती हि सा बलादागृह्य मोहाय महामाया प्रयच्छति.
So in the first shloka it says Jnaninam api chetamsi. Chetamsi means minds. So the minds of Jnanis, Jnaninam api chetamsi, balad akrishya mohaya. They are also subject to this Mahamaya. You know, the Gita in this current chapter we saw, no? What is karma, what is akarma? Kavayaha api mohitaha. That is, even the wise people cannot understand the abstruse nature of karma. So, Jnaninam api chetamsi, and Devi is addressed as Bhagavati, Mahamaya, Devi here, and even they come under the spell of moha, balat, yeah. That is because of the powerful nature of Prakriti, Akrishya. So this is an introduction to the nature of Mahamaya. Second one is a very important shloka and also familiar one. And this is a longer shloka, so we will chant it in the Trishtup meter. Durge smrita harasi bhitimasesha jantoh.
दुर्गे स्मृता हरसि भीतिमशेषजन्तोः
स्वस्ते स्मृता मतिमतीव शुभान् ददासि.
स्वस्तैः स्मृता मतिमतीव शुभां ददासि.
दारिद्र्य दुःख भयहारिणी का त्वदन्या.
दारिद्र्य दुःख भयहारिणी का त्वदन्या.
सर्वोपकारकरणाय सदाद्रचित्ता.
सर्वोपकारकरणाय सदार्द्रचित्ता.
दुर्गे स्मृता हरसि भीतिमशेषजन्तोः. स्वस्थैः स्मृता मतिमतीव शुभान् ददासि. दारिद्र्य दुःख भयहारिणी का त्वदन्या. सर्वोपकारकरणाय सदात्र चित्ता
दुर्गे स्मृता हरसि भीतिमशेषजन्तोः स्वस्तैः स्मृता मतिमतीव शुभां ददासि दारिद्र्यदुःखभयहारिणि का त्वदन्या सर्वोपकारकरणाय सदार्द्रचित्ता.
So, the word Durga means difficult. Yeah, difficult to please. And she's really the power which strikes. That is how she could conquer Mahishasura. Mahishasura, the buffalo demon, stands for tamas. To melt the tamas of our minds, we need a very strong and powerful energy like that of Durga Devi. So here, Durga Smrita means when the Durga is remembered or prayed with devotion, Harasi, you remove all the bhiti, the fears of all the people, endless fears of samsara. Then swasthaihi smita. Then once the fears have gone, that is the tamoguna has been melted, then what? Shubham dadasi. You bestow auspiciousness, shubham mangalam. And daridrya, the miserable nature, dukkham, bhayam, you are the harini. You are the remover of all these, unwanted things from our lives. Katvat anya, who else is there but you, O Universal Mother? Sarvopakara karanaya. You are doing upakara to everybody. And why? Because sadardra chitta, with a heart full of ardra chitta means a heart full of compassion. And we also, we find mothers more approachable than fathers. So here is the same concept. Universal Mother is filled with compassion. And this shloka number 2 is chanted by many people when they are in extreme affliction and sorrow, and this is supposed to be a very healing mantra. Then the third one is, of course, well known to all of us. Sarvamangala Mangalye Shive Sarvartha Sadhike Sharanye Triyambake Gauri Narayani Namostute.
सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थसाधिके शरण्ये त्र्यम्बके गौरी नारायणि नमोऽस्तुते.
So here the Devi is addressed as Gauri, the shining one, Narayani, Shiva also. Shiva refers to Devi also. Hey Shiva. And you are Sarvamangala Mangalye. You are the most auspicious one, and you are Sarvartha Sadhike. You bestow all the wishes, be it dharma, artha, kama, and of course moksha. You are Sarvartha Sadhike. Aham Sharanye. I take refuge in you. You are Triyambake. You are, with the 3 eyes, either sun, moon, fire, or we can take it as sun, moon, and knowledge. Namostute. My salutations unto you. Fourth one. Sharanagata Deenartha Paritrana Parayane.
शरणागत दीनार्थ परित्राण परायणे
सर्वस्यार्ति हरे देवी नारायणि नमोस्तुते.
सर्वस्यार्ति हरे देवी नारायणि नमोऽस्तुते.
शरणागत दीनार्थ परित्राण परायणे सर्वस्यार्ति हरे देवी नारायणि नमोस्तुते.
शरणागत दीनार्थ परित्राण परायणे सर्वस्यार्ति हरे देवी नारायणि नमोस्तुते.
So those who are Sharanagata is who have surrendered to the Devi. Deena Artha are those who are afflicted, who are very Deena Janas. And Artha, they have a lot of misfortunes. Paritrana Parayane, you rescue them, you protect them. Then Sarvasya Arti Hare, and you remove Sarvasya Arti. You remove all their sufferings. O Devi, O Narayani, my namaskara, salutations to you. Namostate. Fifth one. Sarvaswarupe Sarveshe Sarvashakti Samanvite.
सर्वस्वरूपे सर्वेशे सर्वशक्ति समन्विते
भयेभ्यस्त्राहि नो देवी दुर्गे देवी नमोस्तुते.
भयेभ्यस्त्राहि नो देवी दुर्गे देवी नमोस्तुते
सर्वस्वरूपे सर्वेशे सर्वशक्ति समन्विते भयेभ्यस्त्राहि नो देवी दुर्गे देवी नमोस्तुते.
सर्वस्वरूपे सर्वेशे सर्वशक्ति समन्विते भयेभ्यस्त्राहि नो देवी दुर्गे देवी नमोस्तुते.
Sarvaswarupe Sarveshe. No, Isha is there, that word, no? The gods. So you are the essence of all the devatas. No? You're equal to all the devatas. Sarvaswarupe Sarveshe. You manifest as all of them. And Sarva Shakti Samanvite. You are endowed with all the Shaktis. You know, we might have heard that popular bhajan, no? Brahma Shakti, Vishnu Shakti, Shiva Shakti Om, Guru Shakti, Maya Shakti, Devi Shakti Om, Ichha Shakti, Kriya Shakti, Jnana Shakti Om, Om Shakti Om, Shakti Om, Shakti Om. So Shakti is the power to desire, to will, you know. The powers of all our anatmas is the Devi put together. Yeah, the power by which we walk and talk and digest and think and feel, emote, everything, including that Avarana Shakti and Vikshepa Shakti, everything included is the Devi. Then Bhayebhyaha Trahi. Yeah, from all the fears, O Devi, O Durga Devi, you Trahi, protect, and unto you our namaskaras. Then the sixth one also is a very important one, like the second one we saw, and it is often chanted for removing roga. You know, there are two kinds of rogas. One is the physical roga, and then the other is the manasika rogas. Yeah? And both of them are happening intensely because there is a spiritual roga, spiritual ignorance, yeah? Which is avidya. Mix up of Atma, Anatma, Aviveka, and hence this shloka is a prayer for the Devi to remove all the rogas. This is also the long shloka, so we'll do the Krishnapita. Roganasheshanapaham situshta.
रोगानशेषानपहंसि तुष्टा
दृष्टा तु कामान् सकलान् अभीष्टान्.
पृष्टा तु कामान् सकलान् अभीष्टान्
रोगानशेषानपहंसि तुष्टा दृष्टा तु कामान् सकलान् अभीष्टान्.
योगानशेषानपहंसि तुष्टा पृष्टा तु कामान् सकलान् अभीष्टान्
आमाश्रितानान्न विपन्नराणाम्.
आमाश्रितानान्न विपन्नराणाम्
त्वाम् आश्रितानान्न विपन्नराणाम्.
त्वाम् आश्रितानां न विपन्नराणाम्
त्वामाश्रिताह्याश्रयतां प्रयान्ति.
त्वामाश्रिता ह्याश्रयतां प्रयान्ति.
Yeah. So here, Rogana Sheshana Pahamsi Tushta. The Tushta means, O Devi, when you are Tushta, which means when you are pleased with our devotion and our Viveka and our adherence to Dharma, then Rogana Sheshana Apahamsi. So Asheshan, without exception, totally you remove all the rogas. Rogan, Asheshan, Apahamsi, Tushta. When you are Tushta, but not when you are Rushta. The next word, Rushta, means the opposite. But when the Devi is displeased, as it happens, we are seeing that storms and imbalance in nature, pandemic, and all this is sign of a displeased Devi, Rushta Devi. Then what happens? Kaman, Sakalan, Abhishtan. All the kamas that we have, the undertakings, the desires will be Abhishtan, unfulfilled. Some, they will be obstructed. So we will not get fulfillment of our desires. Then Tvam Ashritanam Na Vipanna Ranam. But the one who is Ashrita, who has taken refuge in you, they cannot go astray. Na Vipanna Ranam. And the one who has taken refuge in you, you become their ultimate refuge even when Prayanti. Prayanti means Antakale. The whole during the Jiva Yatra and at the end of it also you take care. So this is also very oft quoted, important shloka number 6. Then the last one. Sarva Badha Prashamanam.
Sarva Badha Prashamanam.
Trailokyasyakhileshwari.
Trailokyasyakhileshwari.
Evameva tvaya karyam.
Evameva tvaya karyam.
Asmat vairi vinashanam.
Asmat vairi vinashanam.
Sarva Badha Prashamanam Trailokyasyakhileshwari Evameva tvaya karyam Asmat vairi vinashanam.
Sarva Badha Prashamanam Trailokyasyakhileshwari Evameva tvaya karyam Asmat vairi vinashanam.
So you do the Prashamanam, you remove or alleviate all the badhas, the obstacles. Because you are Trailokasya Akhileshwari, Akhilandeshwari. We say, you are the goddess of the 3 worlds. Trailokasya Akhileshwari. Evameva, thus, Tvaya Karyam. By your grace, Asmat Vairi, our enemy, Vairi, Vinashanam, there will be the destruction of the inner enemies. Chapter 3 we saw, which is a Nitya Vairi of anyone, Kama. A binding craving is a Nitya Vairi. But in this current chapter 4, we saw a whole family of Vairis. Kamaha, Krodhaha, Lobhaha, Madaha, Mohaha, Matsaryaha. So all these Vairis, you put an end to. In Vedanta, we always say that there are no external enemies. It may appear that my boss doesn't like me or my colleague doesn't like me or my neighbor, but really it is a projection of the mind. So there is an internal state of dissatisfaction and a way of perception that sees a person as a friend or an enemy. So the Devi, by Shakti, puts an end to all this Tamo Guna and Rajo Guna. We see that in the Devi Mahatmyam, she fights with so many demons, Mahishasura, Madhu, Kaitaba, Nishubha, then Raktabija. So, as you know, all the Puranic stories are filled with wisdom on an empirical level, but also they are very allegorical. So Mahishasura represents the Tamo Guna in us. Then Shumbha, Nishumbha, all these are the Rajo Guna, the craving for power, status, fame, endless ambitions. But then the last demon, if you remember in the Devi Mahatmyam, is somebody called Raktabija. And true to his name, this Raktabija, when a drop of blood will fall down, another Raktabija will come. So then the Devi herself gets perplexed fighting with this last demon. And finally, she assumes a very, very gory Mahakali appearance. And her tongue becomes very long. And then she drinks up all the blood and does not allow even a single drop to fall down. And then Rakta Bija is also vanquished. So this Rakta Bija is the Ahankara. Yeah? Ahankara and Mamakara. So which is that this is me, this is who I am. Identification with Anatma, and this belongs to me. This is very hard to be, to be mastered. Yeah? So, but the grace of Durga Devi puts an end to all these imbalance of gunas, and then we know that the Durga, having done the cleanup and the destruction, then Mahalakshmi can bestow the material and spiritual prosperity, and then it is time to celebrate knowledge, peace, and contentment with the grace of Saraswati. And then, of course, Vijayadashmi, the victory of knowledge over ignorance. So these are the very famous Sapta Shlokis. Just stop share this. Now we will go back to Bhagavad Gita, and where we were seeing in the Bhagavad Gita, we were seeing the nature of a jnani. Yeah? And that section from shloka number 18 up to 24 talks about the nature of a jnani who is abiding in that Atma, Aham Akarta Abhokta Atma. Yeah? So there we saw that the normal person would identify with the instruments of action, which is the physical body, the buddhi and mind, and the sense organs. Like right now, speech is happening, listening is happening, all these are actions. Yeah? But the one who has identified with the higher I, the principle of pure consciousness, Shuddha Chaitanya Atmananda Sarupaha, for that jnani, actions become non-actions. Yeah? They become akarma. Yeah? That is what we saw in that shloka number 18. No? Karmanya karmaya pashet akarmani cha karmaya. So the jnani is identifying with that higher principle of pure awareness, and yet continues to act. And continues to act either for the Loka Sangraham, for the welfare of the world and community, or we saw another shloka, Sharira Yatra, for the maintenance of the body. Shariram kevalam karma kurvanna apnoti kilbisham. And then we saw so many words describing the wise person. He is a tyaktva karma phala sangam, giving up the attachment to the result. Yeah? Because there is no doer, there is no I notion, limited I notion. And hence, even if karmas happen, there will be no karma phalam. And hence, the jnani is never bound or affected by sukham, dukham, papam, punyam, or punarjanma. That's the idea. And that we saw as karma samagram praviliyate. So, the nature of the jnani who is offering all his actions in a spirit of yajna, all the karmas get negated. Samagram karma praviliyate. Negated means they cannot bear fruit. Yeah? So that is the freedom of action talked about in chapter 4. Naiva kinchit karoti sa. That is something like the two famous examples, like an actor. When an actor comes on stage, yeah, he will perform the role perfectly. Yeah? But he never forgets who he is. Yeah? So That is the nature of the jnani. Or the other familiar example is of the movie screen. Even while I'm enjoying a movie, then I know that the movie is only an appearance. It is because of the light that is projected on the screen. Yeah? Without the screen, you cannot have the movie. So the jnani is like identifying with the screen-like, space-like awareness, the higher I, and yet actions continue. One Mahatma in an ashram was asked, Swamiji, do you ever watch movies? And Swamiji said, I don't need to, because the movie in our lives is so exciting and so full of adventure that I don't need to go and see a movie in a theater. So this is the attitude of the jnani. He sees his own life as a series of like film-like episodes. Some are tragic, some are very adventurous, some are colorful, some are the ups and downs is all like a movie playing on the screen. Yeah, this is the nature of the jnani, who is jnane avasthita chetasa, whose mind is always absorbed in the highest state of dwelling on the Atma. Yeah. Now, so far we have seen, we have been seeing in several texts, about these two principles, right? Vedanta is about Satyam, Mithya. Yeah. Is about Drik, Drishya, Atma, Anatma, Purushaha, Prakriti, pure consciousness and matter. All this we have been seeing. But then, this is not the end of the pursuit of Vedanta. Why? Because even if I divide the whole world into Atma and Anatma, there is still Dvaitam. Where is the Advaitam? So, the next shloka, this number 24, is going to show us that even this Dvaitam is replaced with Advaitam, Ekam, non-dual, Atma, Brahma for the jnani. How is that? Because we know that the Anatma world, Anatma body, Anatma mind, Anatma world. Remember the acronym I gave? BMW. BMW, body, mind, world. All these three are Anatmas. So nature of Anatma is what? Nature of Anatma is that which cannot exist independently. It depends on Atma for its existence. So being a dependent reality, it is called Mithya. And hence, we see that if the world cannot be there without Atma as the Adhara, then there is really only Atma. Yeah? So the familiar examples of the waves in an ocean. Can the waves be there without water? So the water is the Adhara, and hence there is only water. Jnani will say only water. Water is appearing as waves, or the gold ornaments, all the beautiful gold ornaments. Can they exist without gold? No. So gold is Satyam, ornaments is Mithya, water is Satyam, waves are Mithya. Yeah? So then the point of this discussion is that Atma alone, Atma Brahma alone appears as the countless infinite manifestations. So the jnani has the water drishti, the gold drishti, or the Atma Brahma drishti. Yeah? So now you see how the binary vision, Atma Anatma, Dvaitam has collapsed into Atma Brahma drishti. There is only one. And that is what we are going to explore in the next shloka, number 24. Number 24 is very important, profound shloka because it describes the nature of the jnani who sees only Brahman everywhere. Himself as Brahman, all the Anatmas as Brahman, and the whole world is Brahman. And this shloka, I told you, is always chanted before meals, before eating, be it breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Yeah? And in traditional ashrams, more than this will be chanted. Chapter 15 will be chanted, then Annapurna, Ashtakams. But finally, before beginning, this is the shloka that is chanted always. And then, of course, traditionally one purifies with water the plate or the food, and then offering to the Panchapranas, and then we begin. So let us see this shloka and see how the Brahma Drishti comes about here. Brahmarpanam Brahmahavihi, Brahmarpanam Brahmahavihi, Brahmagnau Brahmanahutam, Brahmagnau Brahmanahutam, Brahmaivate Nagantavyam, Brahmaivate Nagantavyam, Brahma Karma Samadhina, Brahma Karma Samadhina. Now, in this shloka, the vision is presented is the Upanishadic vision. Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma is a mantra from the Upanishad. Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. Sarvam Khalu Idam Brahma. All that is here is Atma Brahma. Yeah? Everything else is an appearance, is a manifestation of that supreme reality. Now, in this shloka, Bhagavan is taking the example of a Vedic fire ritual. I put an image there, you can see a yajna. No? So the term yajna was already introduced in chapter 3 of the Gita. But here, that traditional fire sacrifice is talked about, and then the vision of Brahma is explained. Yeah? Now, we know that in a Vedic fire ritual, what happens? There is a Yajamana. Yajamana is the one who wants to do a fire ritual. In Anekati, we have a Yajna-kunda, and many people come from all over the world to have yajnas performed. They don't perform it themselves. There are priests for that, yeah, who chant the mantras. So they come, they are the yajamanas. So if they want, a relative of them has got terminal some ailment, then they do Mrityunjaya Homa. Then other childless couples will do Putra Kameshti Yajna. Then others want success, success or rains or even heaven, Jyotishtama Yajna. Like that, there are various yajnas, and the priests perform them on their behalf. Yeah. So there is a sankalpa, there is a goal, there is a doer. Then the priest will use a ladle, a spoon, to offer the havis, the offering. The offering can be ghee, sandalwood, cow dung, cooked rice, so many different things, And there are rules for that, You have to offer a certain type of offering for a certain devata, yeah. And the mantras will be different, offerings will be different, but the fire is the courier service. The fire will take the offerings to the respective devatas, and then when all goes well, that is, there is shraddha, adequate dakshina has been given, mantras were chanted properly, then the result is bound to happen for the yajamana. Yeah. So this is the Vedic fire ritual, and based upon this, now we will see the shloka. So the shloka says, Brahma Arpanam, Brahma Havihi, Brahma Agnau, Brahmana Putam. First line only we'll do first. Arpanam. What is Arpanam? Arpanam is that spoon, by which the priest will offer the ghee. That is called Arpanam. So this Jnani sees the means of offering, the instruments by which one performs action as Brahma. Brahmarpanam. Then Brahma Havihi. The Havis, that is the offering that is offered into the fire, that is also Brahma Havihi. Then where is it being offered? Agnau. The fire is also seen as Brahma. Then by whom is it offered? The priest is a nimitta only, but the actual person, the Yajamana, is the one who is paid for the yajna. So Brahmana Putam. So the one who gets the yajna performed and who's performing it is also Brahma. This is the Brahma Drishti. This is the vision that everything is Brahma. I don't see distinct factors like spoon and cooked rice and the priest or the mantras or the fire. All of them are Brahma. For whom this vision is there? The last word. Brahma Karma Samadhina. This is Tritiya, but Brahma Karma Samadhi is the person here. Brahma Karma Samadhi means the one for whom the vision is everything is Brahma. There is nothing other than the supreme reality. Such a jnani is called by the term Brahma Karma Samadhi. Then Tena, by him, Brahma Karma Samadhina. Then what will such a jnani wish for? What will be the sankalpa? Nothing. Because the jnani doesn't want to go to heaven and he is a fulfilled bhakta. He does not need success or promotion or even long life or relief from any uncomfortable situation. He is happy and secure. So, Tena Gantavyam. Gantavyam means what is to be achieved by this yajna. For a Brahma Karma Samadhi, Brahma Eva Tena Gantavyam. What is to be achieved by this jnani is Brahman only. That means even the purpose and the goal of that yajna is also Brahman, which means oneself, knowledge of oneself, which really means nothing. So the jnani is not seeking any result. Yeah? And so you see that how this shloka number 24 takes the example of a Vedic fire ritual. Why Vedic fire ritual? Because it's a karma. Yeah? So despite karma, the jnani sees what? Akarma. The jnani is abiding in the actionless Atma, Akarta, Abhokta, Atma, despite action. Whereas the non-jnanis, Swamiji would say otherwise, and the wise see Akarma. But the otherwise, they will have a distinct goal, I want freedom from suffering. Then they see the fire is distinct from the spoon is distinct from the performer, the who is distinct from the mantras. All these are different. Yeah. So this is the drishti of a jnani. Yeah. Now the question that is often asked is, how does one see Brahman everywhere? Yeah. Is it some magical, lens or a spectacles I have to put on? Some 3D goggles, to see Brahman everywhere? All I see is table, chair, then I see Padma, Lakshmi Garu, Geeta, Sushila, Shubha. All are different. I see difference in age, community, qualifications, background, your rooms are different. Everything, I perceive only diversity. Then how does the jnani perceive only Brahman? So, this is, of course, not literally meant. A chair will be a chair. A child will be a child. Table will be a table. Yeah. What this means is that Brahman cannot be perceived as an object. Brahman is oneself, the subject. Yeah. So, Brahman is that Shiva Tattvam, the essence of anything and everything. So, when I say the table is me, the chair is me, Padma is me, what it means is that not superficially, but the essence of everything is that Brahman Shuddha Tattvam, Atma Tattvam, the supreme reality, then superficially there are differences based on the bodies, the minds, But for the jnani, he can say that the whole creation is me. The ant, the mosquito, the celestials, the in-laws, the children, everything is me, essentially. Yeah, just as we have different kind of waves, breaker waves, surf waves, kuti waves, in the ocean, but all of them are essentially water. Yeah, so that water drishti, that gold drishti, is what is explained as Brahma drishti. Knowing oneself as Atma Brahma. Now, I will take the liberty to explain some Sanskritam here because most of you are Sanskrit students. So others, please don't get bored. Now, in Sanskritam, we have 8 cases, right? And out of the 8 cases, there are how many karakas? I can show you with your fingers. 6, right? 6 karakas. Now, there is a karta, karma, karana, sampradana, then apadana and adhikarana, right? So there is an agent of action, there is an object of action, there is an instrument of action, and there is from a reference point, from where is the action proceeding, where is the action happening, and what is the purpose of the action. All this we study in Sanskrit grammar. And this shloka wonderfully, highlights all the 6 karakas. Who is performing the yajna is nominated, karta. What is he offering into the fire? Karma, object. And how does he offer? With the arpanam, with the ladle, that is tritiya, karana. And then what is the purpose? There is some goal for the non-jnanis, dharma, artha, kama will be there. Some goal, that is sampradana. Then where is the action proceeding from? Brahmana hutam, from me who's performing the action. That is the apadana. Then adhikaranam, where is the actions happening? The fire. That is agnau, saptam. And so, this shloka shows that how for the jnani, all the karakas are Ishwarayized. Ishwarayized is a word used by Pujya Swamiji. There is no such word in the English language. Ishwarayized means seeing every action as divine. The Devi in form. It's like, Brahman putting on several veshas, costumes. So Brahman has put on the costume of Padma, my in-laws. Brahman has appeared as my children, the mosquitoes, and everything, Jiva, Jantu, celestials. It's a vesha, a costume. Yeah. But minus the upadhi, minus the costume, it is all that self-effulgent, self-shining, self-evident, supreme reality, Brahman. Yeah? So that is the Brahma Drishti that this shloka talks about. So this, with the 24th shloka in chapter 4, the jnana topic ends. Remember, it started in 18 to 24. We are exploring the nature of the jnani. Now, we have such similar sections in the whole Gita. We have seen the last 18 shlokas of chapter 2, where the same jnani is called Sthita Prajnaha. Then in chapter 14, we saw that the same jnani is called what? Gunatita. 13th chapter is called Kshetrajna. And 15th chapter, Purushottama. And so we have all these various names from different viewpoints. And chapter 12, Bhakti Yoga, we have beautiful ending shlokas as a Jnana Bhakta. So where the jnani is described in terms of a bhakti language. So even when we see in the Bhagavatam, we see Atma Nivedanam is the final surrender, isn't it? Shravanam, Kirtanam, like that, it goes till Atma Nivedanam. So this Brahma Drishti, the one who has, is the one who has done that Atma Nivedanam. Yeah? And hence, these shlokas very aptly justify the title of chapter 4. Remember the title of the current chapter? Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga, which means Jnanena Karmanam Sannyasaka. That is, by knowledge, giving up karmas, not literally. So the problem is not with karma. The problem is the attitude. So the jnanis are empowered by knowledge and still activities continue. Yeah? And they may not act also, like Ramana Maharishi, minimum action, just body maintenance, and he would give darshan and maybe answer one or two questions, not more. But what a tremendous benefit. People would go in the Sanidhyam and feel at once peaceful and contented. But there are other jnanis like Vivekananda who crossed the seas and intensely active lives. They are also the same jnanis, yeah? Who have this Brahma Drishti and who are Brahma Karma Samadhis. Means who, this is not the mystic Samadhi here. This means the perception of the essential oneness despite the amazing and manifold diversity in the Jagat. Now, such a person, jnani, is called as Brahma Karma Samadhi. It's called Brahma Buddhi. Okay? Now, after this, using the same example, the Yajna example, Bhagavan is going to talk about various sadhanas and disciplines. You know, what we've just seen is the highest level, Brahma Drishti, seeing everything as Brahma. But we are all not, we may not be there as yet. So we follow many sadhanas and disciplines. Now Bhagavan is going to explore at least 12 more yajnas in the form of pranayama, swadhyaya, tapas, pujas, and each one of them is a yajna. So then we are going to see in all those yajnas, what is the fire, what is all the different parts of a yajna, what is the fire, who's performing, what is the goal, and all these 12 yajnas are going to follow in the next verses. But then Bhagavan will say that this Brahma Yajna, the one who pursues knowledge of Atma Brahma, is the highest yajna. And all other yajnas are also important, but the purpose of doing them is to purify and steady the mind, to come to this Brahma Yajna. Om Tat Sat. So I think we'll stop here. Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om Tat Sat.